All right, third grade, this is chapter 21, extra practice on page 438. You're going to want to make sure you have a sheet of paper, as well as you're going to want to make sure that you do have the dot paper ready to go. It's in part of the packet. It does say chapter 21, extra practice, so make sure you have that as well. So go ahead and let's get your paper filled out with your name, date, and the name of the lesson before we get started. And now remember, on the extra practice, it actually has the lesson pages where we can go back to find the answer. So for 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have to name the solid that each object looks like. And so number 1 is like a cone like you would see out in the playground, right? Well, I kind of just gave it away, but number 1 actually is a cone. That's why they're called that, like kind of like the construction cones. So for number 1, we have a cone, right? So this is set A. This is set A. So number 1, we have a cone. Number 2, it kind of looks like any wrapping paper. Okay, think about a wrapping paper. It looks like it has circles on the top and the bottom. Not a cube, not a rectangle, not a pyramid. The only thing doesn't really have a circle are a sphere, cylinder, and a cone. It doesn't come to a point, so it's not a cone. So that means it is a cylinder. Number 3, ooh, it's like a birthday present, right, with a bow on it. I'm thinking that looks like kind of like a cereal box, right? So it is a rectangular prism for number 3. Okay, and then number 4 is like a ball, right? Basketball, kickball, right? And that means it is a sphere. Okay, so that was set A, being able to name them. Now for set B, they are actually combined together to make an object. So we have to go back through and figure out, okay, what's in all of these? And there could be more than one. So like number 1, I see 1, 2, 3. So I have to list 3 of them. So I'm going to work from the bottom all the way to the top. Well, on the bottom, that looks like it's a cube sitting there, right? Followed by a sphere. And then followed by like a construction cone on the very top. Now number 2, I don't think we've had that figure yet. It comes to a point. I don't think we've had that figure, so let's go ahead and let's see here. That comes to a point. Well, only a cone and a square pyramid come to a point. A square pyramid has a square base where a cone has a circular base. So it's tipped upside down, right? But it's at a square circle base. I'm thinking it's a square, right? So number 2, we have a square pyramid on the bottom. Okay, followed by what looks to be like a wrapping paper, right? But just really small. So that's, remember, a cylinder. And then on the very top, is that a rectangular prism or a cube? Does it have rectangular faces or does it have all faces are squares? And I'm thinking they're all squares, so that means that is a cube. Okay, number 3, we have 3 of them. Looks like we have, that tall one. Is it a cube? Nope, this right one's a cube, right? So I'm going to say that's a rectangular prism with a cubed. Now, is that a square pyramid or a cone? So what kind of a bottom does it have? It has a square bottom, so that means it's a square pyramid. So rectangular prism. We have a cube, and then we have a square pyramid. Whoops. number 3. Okay, set C. Tell if each figure will tessellate, right? Yes or no. Okay, so remember about tessellations, right? There's going to be no overlapping or no gaps. Cubes, hexagons, triangles are great ones to use. Circles and pentagons will not because they will have a gap. So with that, number 1, well, that's an oval. That's just like a circle. If a circle won't tessellate, will an oval tessellate? No, an oval will not. Number 2, that is a pentagon. Wait, didn't it tell us right here? Can a pentagon tessellate, yes or no? We found out no, it cannot. So number 2 is no. Oh, what about that rhombus there? Could you repeat that going? Actually, yes, you could. So number 3 is a yes. And then we already know for a triangle is one of the easiest ones to do. That is a yes. Now number 5, I'm not going to do because you're going to do it, okay? You're going to actually make a design and you're going to tessellate it. You can use any shape you want. You can use a square, a triangle, a hexagon, up to you. And if you want to, you can even color it. Okay, so you still have to do 5, but that's on your own. So we're going to move into, so I'm going to put 5 on your own. Okay, and then we're going to go on to set D. Set D is we're going to draw each figure on the dot paper. So actually set D, we're done with this paper. We're going to do everything on the dot paper. We're going to write the number of line segments needed to draw each figure. Well, actually we do. 1, 2, and 3, we do have to write how many line segments we need to draw it, but then we're going to actually draw it on the dot paper. So a rhombus, remember, is just kind of like a square, but it's pushed over, right? So that's 4 line segments. A hexagon, What's a hexagon again? Right, drawing your figures. Right, here's your rhombus, 2 pairs of parallel sides, 4 equal sides. A hexagon is what? 6 angles, 6 sides, so I'm going to need 6. And then we have a quadrilateral, which is 4. So we have 4 for a rhombus. And we said 6 for a hexagon. And 4 for a quadrilateral. So now when I go to my dot paper, this is where it might not match. You can do what you want to. So for number 1, right, it said a rhombus, except for rhombus, I kind of have to. Rhombus, remember, it's 2 sets of parallel sides, okay, and all sides are equal. So it's kind of like a square, but maybe I'm going to do angles. So maybe I'm going to start here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, up 1. So then if I start down here, right, if I do 1, 2, 3, up 1, right. And if I start here, I go 1, 2, 3, up 1, so it'd be this. Right? It's just kind of like a square, but then it's kind of pushed over, right? It doesn't have to have the right angles. But it could, if you want to, you could actually even draw a square because a square is a rhombus. Number 2 says it wants to be a hexagon, so 6 sides. This is where I can do whatever I want. I have to have 6 line segments, right? 1 line segment, 2 line segments, 3 line segments, 4, 5, 6. There's a hexagon. And then we'll do number 3. 3 is a quadrilateral. That's any 4-sided figure, right? So 4 sides. Let's see here. 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides. Quadrilateral, right? 4 sides. Okay. Remember, you don't have to have these looking identical to what I did, but I'm just kind of showing you how to do it. Now, for 4, 5, and 6, we actually have to copy what's on here, just like we did with the review. Okay. And then we have to draw the missing line segment so that the figure matches its label. So a triangle, we only have 2 sides here, right? So if I start here, I'm going to go down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. Okay, so number 4. Let me make this a little wider for you guys to see. So we'll do number 4 here. Right, if I start right here, I said I was going to go down 2 and over 1. So there's the start of my triangle, down 2 and over 1. And if I go back, it's showing me that I have to go over 1, 2, 3. I have to go over 3. Okay, so then I'm going to do, I have to go over 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I got to make a triangle. Right here, I only have 2 sides. Remember, triangle's 3 sides. So here, I'm just going to close it to make it 3 line segments for a triangle. Okay, let's go to number 5. 5 is asking for a trapezoid. Okay, so if I start, maybe I'll start here down this bottom right or left corner. I'm going to go over 1 and up 2. I'm going to go over 1 and up 2 for number 5. We'll put 5 right here. What did I say? I'm going to go, if I start right here, right? Over 1, up 2. Over 1 and up 2, okay. Then I have to go back to the original one and I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now, with a trapezoid, you only have 1 set of parallel sides. So either the sides have to be parallel or the top and bottom have to be parallel. I'm actually going to make the top and bottom parallel. So maybe I'm going to make it right here. And then obviously trapezoid is 4 sides, and then I'm going to connect my dots. Now you don't have to have identical to me, but that's where I just made a trapezoid. Maybe you would have done only over 1 and then went down. So there are a couple different ways you can make a trapezoid from that. Okay, for number 6, we're going to make a pentagon. So I'm going to start here, all the way on the left. I'm going to go over 1 and down 1. So if I start here, over 1, down 1. And connect those dots. Okay. Then it looks like I'm going to go over 2, 1, 2. One, 2, I'm going to go over 2. Okay. Then I have go over 1 and up 2. Over 1 and up 2. Over 1 and up 2. Now I'm looking for a pentagon. A pentagon is a 5-sided figure, right? Right now I only have 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is where you can do whatever you want as long as they're line segments and they become closed. So you could go 1, 2. You could go 1, 2. You could go 1, 2. See how there's tons of different ways you can do that, but you have to add in 2 line segments and make sure it comes back to where we originally started because it has to be a closed shape. Okay, so that is it for the extra practice for chapter 21 on page 438. This should have gotten you ready to take your open book test on chapter 21.